He's just a baby Bo Burnham.
Take off your bras and burn them, Bo Burnham.
I feel like, I don't know if his first one would be as deep as these ones are, though.
It is in a different, like, I think you need to, like, you complete the journey, though. That's the thing is...
You kind of see where it starts.
You kind of see from the beginning, and then it kind of all puts it in perspective.
I'm capiching, yeah. I'm getting it. How's this lighting? Is it weird because the lamp is back there? Can you see it? Can you see me, guys? Kind of. I love muffins. I got some real shit to say, and it's, I don't know, what time is it here? 11:45-ish. But,
yeah.
Hi, my lover muffins. Hubby is here with me today. We just watched a couple of stand-ups. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Bo Burnham, like B.O.
Burnham,
yeah.
Like
He's on Netflix. Go watch him. He's fucking fantastic. And he's actually kind of a one-of-a-kind stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he's kind of the out there sort of
I don't know,
guys,
he's very like Tosh.0, Dimitri Martin-esque.
But much smarter than Tosh. Like,
yeah.
Much smarter.
I think that Tosh is a lot I think Tosh is very smart. I just think that he comes across as a very asshole prick way, and that's how he expresses himself.
Tosh is smart, but Tosh is like
Tosh is not.
He's like a shock jockey.
Yes.
Like he
everything
sells,
is okay, lovies. Everybody's like, is everything okay? Because I like had 40 different titles for this video, and then I just labeled it Rant-ish. Because I don't know what to label it. Like, there's so many things.
You could label it.
There's so many things to kind of come out of this.
You could have labeled it, I wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit.
I almost did label it that, actually. That was one of the things that was typed out. But I feel like people wouldn't have tuned in if it said, I mean, if you guys saw that I was live and it said, I wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit. Would you watch it?
Well, yeah, because you...
Because you're like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Krista? What the fuck? What's happening with your lettuce? Yes, Autumn, I am live. Hi, happy early Thanksgiving to all you Americans. Okay, so we just kind of had a, yes, and I went on, I would have slammed my notification either way. So I'm gonna just, you know what? I'm gonna start doing that then. I'm gonna start making the most stupid titles for my video and see what, it'll make sense. Cutting Room Phoenix. Hey, fun name. So Bo Burnham, his stand-ups are fantastic, and he is extremely raw in what he talks about, and he will go from talking about like the crisis of America to eat a dick. Like, he has a song called Eat a Dick, and it's fucking hilarious. But so there are things though that kind of go over the majority of people's heads. Like,
very highbrow, like just
yeah, highbrow comedy, but also.
But he everything he does has a point. Like there's a point to, like, a higher point. I think a lot of comedy is a window into society, but his especially kind of makes fun of society, but also teaches us a lesson.
Hey Kevin, there's somebody that Thunder Angel was on the phone and told their friends they had to go so that they can come hang out with us.
Oh.
Y'alls are awesome.
Appreciate that.
Is Kevin participating in No Shave November?
I'm just lazy. It's not No Shave November.
I love the purple narwhal charm you made. I bought it last year and love it. Hey, I'm so glad you did. Okay, so we're gonna get into some real shit, because you ever watch something or read something and it just fucking clicks. Like, it's something that you've known for a while and it's kind of been way the fuck back here, but then you watch somebody actually articulate what you don't know how to articulate and you're like, holy shit, that's everything ever. Well, Bo Burnham has 3 stand-ups.
Yeah.
I didn't watch his first one. I don't know what his first one's called.
Words are his first one. But his second 3, whatever, we watched tonight. His newest one is called Make Happy. His second one is called What? And there are some things that came across in both of them that were actually really fucking odd. Like, one of them was he made a song, because he's a singer, kind of. It's called What? Yes, it's called What? Like W-H-A-T with a period. What? And so one of the songs he did was a song from God's perspective. And he was basically, he did it in a comedic way, but he also did it in like a, hey, wake the fuck up kind of a way, to where he was like, I'm trying to even think of some of the... So, he did the obvious stuff, like, you know, my books are too thick, you know, the books that you think that I wrote, you know, why don't not rape someone because I said not to rape someone. You shouldn't rape because rape's an asshole thing to do. And I'm the creator of the universe. Why would I care whether you eat pork or not?
Yeah.
And so,
or I'm not a fucking creep. I don't watch you sleep at night.
I don't use my omnipotence in that way. So, you know, he kind of went across a bunch of different spiritual beliefs as far as where, you know, not to discriminate against one person, but the whole point of the song was when he gets to the end is he said, I don't give my love just because you want it. You earn my love, and once you earn it, you don't need it because you've learned to love yourself.
No, but he just stopped there.
Yeah.
Like, he said that I don't give you love.
Because
you want it. You have to earn it. And once you've earned it, you don't need it. Fucking listen to that. Like, really mull that around in your brains for a second. That's like spiritual everything. Like, you have people that are, and he was basically like, I'm not letting you into heaven. Like, none of you are going to heaven. And that was like the basis of his song. I think it was actually called You're Not Getting Into Heaven. And people were like, wow, that's kind of a dick thing to say. And at the end of it, he's like, you're not getting into heaven because you are spending your life trying to get into heaven instead of realizing that heaven is on earth right now. Like, there are people out there, and it kills you because there are people that are trying their damnedest to get in God's good graces, whatever the fuck that means. And they're not living their life right now. They're living their life for when they're fucking dead. What is that? What is that? I mean, really think about that. Really. Like, think about, I looked at Kevin, and my brother and sister-in-law were here. And I think that was one of those things I was just like, whew. I don't think it sunk in. I think, because Kevin and I looked at each other and I was like, holy shit. And that was just the start of the deep shit. Okay? Hold on. Damnedest to get to heaven. So that was like the first where you're like, wow, yeah, you're right, because
people live their life for the day they die because earth is suffering and heaven is bliss.
Apparently.
And I think one of the lyrics of the songs kind of goes along with, you know, maybe it's worth a try that you might have heaven here now. Isn't that worth just a shot?
Isn't that worth a shot? To just try to make your life on earth heaven now, instead of trying so hard to get into the graces of whoever it is you believe in so that you can get into heaven. So you don't rape someone because God told you not to. You don't eat pork because God told you not to. You're not a fucking asshole because God told you not to. And basically his song was like, I didn't tell you not to do any of those things. Like, you should just not, like, first of all, I don't give two shits about, he's like, I've got other shit to worry about. I made the universe. I don't give a fuck what your preference is in the deli aisle. Like,
yeah, I don't draw the line in the deli aisle. Well, and I think one of the other lines was, why does it take 1,000 metaphors to say don't be an asshole?
Yeah. Why? Because
like,
he's like, my book is way too thick. He said, the book that the book that I did not write is way too thick. Because it's true. I mean, so you have all of these stories that are basically telling you to not be an asshole person. And
a lot of it should go without saying, just to care for people.
Care for one another. Don't be a dick. So, moving past that, like, yeah, because that was like, I mean, not that that was mind-blowing. Yeah, exactly, right? People are like, live in the moment, live to the fullest. But really think, you know, people say that.
Well, yeah.
People say that a lot. They're like, yeah, live life to the fullest. No. Really? Because I can easily say that. Hey, Kev, do you live your life by the Bible? No disrespect, just asking.
I think the Bible has a ton of great information. I think that it's shaped my life in a way that I am very thankful for. I have a lot of knowledge of the Bible, and I think that my journey with Krista has also shown me that there's a lot of other knowledge that coincides, kind of says the same thing in a lot of ways. I mean, the more you look into different spiritual walks, the more you realize that they say the same thing. There is a lot of really great information in the Bible, and I think that if you were to live your life by the Bible, in a lot of ways you would live a very moral and fulfilling life. But you have to keep things in perspective. I think you have to think about the times, and this, you know, this could be a really, really long discussion.
Yeah, we're not even going to get into it,
but,
because I can't.
But I would say that I like to live my life by a lot of the things that are emphasized in the Bible, but I think that's just being a good person.
Well, exactly like his thing said. The point of the Bible is to not be a dick. So guess what? If you're living your life trying not to be an asshole, then that's pretty much any religious text that's out there in so many words. So I'm moving on, because there are so many other amazing things that were part of this stand-up that you're just like, holy shit. So one of the other songs, it was in his second, his recent one, Make Happy. He talks about, oh my God, what is it? The audience?
So he stops about 3/4 of the way through the performance and is talking about how he struggles because as a performer,
what is the actual line?
The actual line is if you can live your life without an audience, do it.
If you can live your life without an audience, do it.
And I think a lot of people take that and go, oh yeah, like dance like no one's watching, you know, that sort of thing. But we don't realize how deeply that is you know, rooted in our society, how we live our lives.
You say you're your own audience,
people,
but are you your own audience? There was a comment that just said, I'm my own audience. But really think about that for a second. Really think about it.
When you post something on Facebook,
you don't do it for yourself.
Why are you posting something on Facebook? When you're looking at your house, are you thinking, I need to get up and clean because I feel dirty? Exactly. Or are you thinking, I need to clean because that's what needs to be done?
Like, Shay just said, like, we don't really need social media. Social media is the fucking bane of this society's existence right now. Like, social media causes 95% of the fucking problems that are out there because something gets big on social media. People don't watch the actual news anymore, which all the news is fucking corrupt anyway, so I don't do that. Hi. So I don't watch the news, I don't watch any of that shit, so I don't know what's going on in half the country anyway, because you have the news or you have Facebook that says, oh my god, this thing is such a horrible thing, but it's like, what are they? Not getting into that. Anyway, so you post on Facebook, you post on Instagram, you post on whatever. Why are you posting? Why am I posting? You want to know why I'm posting? Because I want to get fucking attention from someone else. I want my life to matter, and mattering is likes, and that is fucking the majority of people. And when I say I mean society in general. Really think about that. Like, really, before you get, like, your panties in a fucking bunch and you think that I'm talking about you, and if you're getting offended, then I probably am talking about you. But no, really think about that for just a second.
Well, and
think about the fact that you post on social media, not even social media, you know, Kevin was talking about just in everyday life. Like, if you had one entire day to do anything that you wanted to do, to actually make yourself happy, would you know what to do with it? Like, would you actually know what to do? Because if I'm home for an entire day, like, which doesn't fucking happen, but if I'm home for an entire day, if I post on Facebook, it's to get the likes of other people. Like, why do you check Facebook? You check Facebook to scroll mindlessly to get rid of the stress that's in your life, and so it gives you something to do to waste time because you don't want to be living your own life right now. You want to be living vicariously through other people. Or you post things, you post witty things, funny things, sad things, pictures of your kids, pictures of your pets, pictures of whatever, where instead, like tonight, I posted a picture of my child in the sink with her grandpa on social media. Why did I do that? Instead of enjoying that moment and laughing with my family, I snapped a picture and I had to post it online. Part of it, a very small part, was so that other family members could see it. Most of it was because I felt like somewhere twisted in my head, if I didn't take a picture of that and post it, this shit didn't happen. I need to have other people's recognition. I need other people to know that my kid's cute. I need other people to be like, oh my god, look at my dad and my daughter. Look at them together. I need you to look at it and to approve of my life and to approve of, like, that is what people think. That is a legit thing. You go on your fucking Instagram or your witchy accounts or whatever, and you take a picture of a spell you just did. You take a picture of your altar. You take a picture of your backyard, your whatever, and you post it and you say, oh, beautiful meditation spot. Just finished my altar, blah, blah, blah. Instead of sitting and enjoying that altar or that spell or that tarot session or that meditation spot, you had to post it online. Why? Because you need to have the gratification. You need to have other people think, yeah, that's a fucking awesome meditation spot. So you can be like, yeah, I was justified in thinking yes, performative validation. You need other people to validate what you were excited about so that you can remain excited about it. Because as soon as somebody else puts down whatever that is, you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. And tell me that's not true. Tell me that that is not a fucking epidemic in our society. Do you actually know what you would do if you had a whole day, you had no phone, no social media, and you had to do things that made you genuinely happy? Because I could do things all day, like I get really excited to play my video games. I play my Switch. Kevin gets home, I immediately tell him exactly what I did. Why? Because I want his validation. I want him to be as excited about the game that I'm playing, because if he's not excited about it, then it's probably not a very good game. Instead of me just enjoying it myself. You guys get what I'm, like, do you understand how freaking deep that is? How ridiculous it is that America, that the world needs an audience in order to live their life. They need an audience.
Well, and I feel like it's easy to villainize social media. I think social media it magnifies the problem so that we can see it a lot easier. But like Chris said, the biggest thing is, especially in this country, we're overstimulated. You know, you look at everything that we have, everything is, like, you even look at our food is super spiced, super sugary, super tasteful. You know, you look at our media, you know, like, we're constantly told that we should feel, if you're feeling in love, you should feel more strongly in love. If you're feeling, you know, happy, you should be more happy. And these are ways you can acquire more happiness. And so in a lot of ways, we're not feeling validated anymore, because the more and more we go with technology, the more and more insecurities surface, and we withdraw from each other. We don't interact. You know, it's a lot easier to tell someone that they're an idiot and that they don't know what they're talking about over Facebook than it is to say it to someone's face, or to say, I love you, but these are some problems that I have with our life. It's hard to say that to someone's face. It's easier to say it to someone over Facebook that you don't even know. And so we're overstimulated, and then we get into these ruts of just looking for validation from other sources that really have no meaning, when really validation should come from the people that mean the most.
So, Thunder Angel just mentioned how she's a stay-at-home mom, and a lot of times, like, when, I'm assuming you meant when you're on social media, and when you do you get lonely. And girl, let me tell you something right now. I might seem like a very outgoing, super fiery person. Yeah, sure. But when I'm home, like tomorrow, Thanksgiving, fingers crossed, if I'm not working because I'm on call, Kevin and my kid are leaving for a couple hours. I don't know what to do with myself when I'm home. I am a very unhappy with my own person. I can't stand being around myself because I don't know myself. We get wrapped into this social media bullshit and we lose our actual identities. Our identities become our online persona, and then you're sitting there and you're like, well, I have 4 hours to myself. I need to, like, do something productive so I can post on Facebook about it. Or I need to post on Facebook so that I can... Now, Facebook, you know, like you said, it's hard to demonize it because, you know, you get on there, you can talk to people that...
It just exemplifies the problem that already exists.
Yeah.
It's just a magnifier of something that's been going on for a long, long time. It's just more obvious
worse
in social media.
Well, I guess it's whether or not social media caused it, or human beings being human beings caused it. The issue is that people don't know how to be with themselves. I don't know how to be with myself. I don't. And honestly, I can tell you that. I can admit that to you. I don't know how to be with myself. I don't know. I can sit here and I can play my games and I can read and I can, constantly on the phone when I'm by myself, whether it's with my brother, my mom, my husband. I have a really hard time being with myself. And after watching this makes me want to understand how to be with myself and how to be able to do that without an audience. How to figure out which things I genuinely enjoy and what things I'm doing because there's an audience of people that knows me to do these things, and if I cut that out, I cut the audience out. You know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? So, like, what if I wake up tomorrow and I go, paganism isn't my thing. I'm not getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. I'm not really doing anything with it. I'm reading books. The stuff is interesting, but actually acting it out, it doesn't fulfill me. If I woke up tomorrow and said that, that would be a terrifying realization, because that would mean I'm basically cutting out all of you that came here because I started a channel on paganism. And that is a terrifying thing, because you guys are an audience for me. You guys are a huge portion of my validators. There's a lot of people on here that I have grown to love and enjoy and respect and call friends. Absolutely. But honestly, who are your Instagram followers? Who are your Facebook followers? Like, who are they? There's a lot of people, there's a ton of people on here that I know from, I don't know you personally, but I know your names and I know as much as I can know about you online. But there's a lot of other people that come on and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. You see them once, and I have 3,500 followers. So you have somebody that likes one of your things, and you're like, oh, that person's a validator. That is what they are. So it's a horrible way to put it, and I don't mean it in a terrible way. And that's why I'm not reading comments right now, because I have a feeling that some of the comments are like, ooh, girl, you're touching some sore spots. And I kind of hope I am, because I kind of hope that instead of being offended by what I'm saying, if you're offended, this is probably applying to you, because he said all that and I was like, holy shit. I am a person that seeks validation. Kevin, and maybe, I don't think he does, he's not a huge Facebook junkie, but he is someone that can literally sit here on the couch and be with himself. Not do anything, not read, not take a nap, not play games, not have anything on the background, and just sit and go into himself and just be. I can't do that. I cannot do that. And it's something I can learn to do, but I can't.
Well, and I think part of what goes with that is...
Oh, hold on one second. Emily, I do see the irony of streaming this live. I'm streaming this live for validation. I get that. But this is also something that I felt like was a big holy shit moment, that I felt like if there was even one other person that I could get to see the holy shit of this, that it would be amazing. So
well, and that's kind of where we're trying to create this separation, is that, the Facebook, social media, all of that is a tool, and it does serve a purpose, but there is an epidemic that we have right now of when is enough enough. like everyone is searching for happiness. Well, once they achieve happiness, they go for more happiness. Well, how happy can you get? Well, if you're as happy as you are now, there's apparently someone happier, so continue to get happier. And that's kind of the whole Facebook epidemic is, it's like, well, you're popular, so get more popular. Or you're feeling like your life is out of control, but if I post this picture and people like it, it makes me feel like I'm in control.
Yeah, you know, and it gives you the feels.
And that's what we're saying is, you know, it's not that Facebook live broadcasts, you know, getting more likes, getting more followers is a bad thing in itself. It's kind of how you approach it, you know, and we're just kind of to the point to where enough is never enough. You know, it just kind of keeps going. It's like, well, you have the support of your husband, you have the support of your family, you have the support of your workplace, but you still feel insecure because looking into yourself, you'll always find imperfections because you've lived with yourself a long time and you've known that you have issues and you know exactly what those issues are, and when you're super honest with yourself, you know exactly what they are and that they're an issue, and you would rather not pay attention to that because it hurts. And we have a feeling in this society that if something hurts, there's something wrong with you. So you have to change your whole line of thinking to, well, nothing's wrong, because if nothing's wrong, I'm healthy. And it's like, that's just not reality. And so we go searching for validation in other people. Sometimes it's out, you know, you search for validation outside of marriage. You search for validation in a lot of unhealthy ways because you feel like you're not healthy, even though your body is experiencing healthy emotions, healthy things that are just a normal part of life. We live to the belief that we should never be unhappy.
We live to we live in a society with way too high of standards. Like, you have these celebrities that are full of shit themselves, but they put on a facade and people try to accomplish that and they can't reach there and they fall short, and then we look down on ourselves. Like, what happened to the days way back when there was no social media, there was no internet, all you had was the news? And so one of the things that Bo Burnham said, which was actually a little bit eye-opening too, he goes, do you guys understand that there is a talk show that at night celebrities play
Pictionary or
lip
like
syncing,
games,
like they do a lip syncing game. He's like, so there are popular celebrities that we see too often lip syncing to songs that we hear way too often, and we spend our we spend our precious moments watching this garbage. He's like, do you guys understand that? He goes, why are you watching that? And I'm like, it's true, people watch that kind of garbage because you find enjoyment in it. Why do you find enjoyment in it? Because you don't enjoy, like, maybe some people do really find it funny and that's something that they like to do and sit down at night and watch with their significant other and whatever, but how does that better you to watch that? Like, it was the point he was making. Like, what is that? What has become of our society that is what we turn to? Like, that's primetime television. Celebrities lip syncing to popular songs, or playing Pictionary with each other, or fucking God knows what. I was like, it's true. That is what society is television and reality TV shows, watching people get overly drunk and have sex way too often and be promiscuous and fucking Jersey Shore nasty. And it's really sad.
Well, and it's all in a perspective of, you know, not saying that any one of those things is evil in itself. It's just the general, like, if you really enjoy watching celebrities lip sync, do it. If you really enjoy watching, you know, Celebrity Game Night, watch Celebrity Game Night. You know, that's part of your life. That's part of filling what you have. What we're talking about is looking at what we have as a society as a whole and filling our lives with things that are unnecessary because we feel like they're supposed to be necessary. Or, you know, taking a situation that doesn't need to be unhappy and making it unhappy. Like, how many times do you even go to a restaurant, get quality food, but it's just not quite up to snuff to what you would expect quality food to be. It doesn't taste quite as good as you want it to be. And then you take a step back and think, I'm eating food that a majority of the world, not necessarily a majority, but a lot of the world would love to have this meal. And I'm complaining because of the taste component. You know, now, there are times that obviously restaurant food turns out very badly. You know, that's a separate thing. But just take a second to think about it and go, you know what? Just the fact that I have the means to leave my safe house and go somewhere to have food.
You missed a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So Amaryllis, or girl, came on and said, what I missed. I said, oh girl, you missed a ton.
And, you know, you can leave your home, go have someone prepare food for you, and eat it, go home again to a house full of food that you didn't have to prepare. You know, and I'm not saying that, you know, you shouldn't have expectations for how a service should be carried out for you, but at the same time, don't let it ruin your whole freaking night. Take a step back and go, you know, and, you know, that's just one thing. You know, we're so critical of life in that we have to find reasons to be unhappy almost. It's like there has to be a reason. We're always expecting someone to gyp us, to cheat us, to, you know, something has to go wrong all the time because there's no way that everything could go right.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you realize that life is just a happy experience and that all experiences are valuable, even the bad ones, you know, there's always lessons to be learned. It takes a lot of stress away.
Isn't he fantastic just to listen to? Couldn't you just listen to him for like an hour? Just like spew words out of his mouth.
Well, I'm drinking, so they're kind of flowing pretty good. So
one of the other things that kind of came about was the term to be the phrase to be happy. His latest stand-up was called Make Happy. And he started the stand-up with a joke. I don't really care what the joke was, but it was basically talking about how tomorrow is a relative term. You will never reach tomorrow because once you get to tomorrow, it's today. You picking that up? So like tomorrow is literally a relative term. You will never reach tomorrow because as soon as you get there, it's today. Like today is the moment. This is all you have, is living in this moment, okay? So when you're saying, I'm going to do that tomorrow, I'll get there tomorrow, I'll get it, you're basically saying, yeah, I'll get there when I get there. Because tomorrow could mean 2 years from now, okay? So.
Well, and in a deeper sense, a lot of people say, I'll just be so happy when this is done. I'll be happy when the house is paid off. I'll be happy when I get my raise. I'll get happy when, you know, whatever. Nothing's really going to change. Like, you might have some situations change. You might have some pressures lifted. but you're still living with yourself. That hasn't changed.
And yeah, if you get your raise, you're going to be happy.
You're going to get more money.
Well, you're going to be happy.
You're going to be happy
when that rate. You're going to be like, Kevin, look I'm looking for my validation. Look, Kevin, I got a raise. I got like an extra 60 cents an hour. Mm-hmm. And then you're happy for a second because you got that raise. But then what do? You probably go and spend like that extra $40 that you get in your paycheck. You go out to eat once more a month, so you don't really have it anyway.
And that's kind of the point is, you know, happiness is a mode of travel. It's not a destination. You're never going to arrive at happiness.
You are never...
You're going to travel happily and arrive where you arrive at your destination. And I think a lot of people focus on, you know, in a way it's a self-preservation, for lack of a better term, is it's saying, I don't understand why I'm not happy, but I need to have a reason, and so the reason is because of this.
And so you search for validation, which helps give you little glimpses of happy now. Mm-hmm. So basically, all of this is obviously wrapped into one giant fuck, but
right.
Happiness, just like tomorrow, happiness is a relative term. You are never going to reach happy because you cannot be happy all the time. Happiness is an emotion, just like sadness, just like anger, just like fear. They're all emotions that come through the ebb and flow of life.
Well, this is going to be kind of a weird metaphor, but I kind of have a slim body type, and I did a lot of time in the gym.
You are happy with your life, Julie, but nobody is happy all the time, and that's
right.
What I'm saying, is that people are always wanting more.
And this isn't saying that we all live in a world where unhappiness, like, we're not happy with ourselves, we're not happy with our life is all dark and dreary, but it is something to put in your brain pan and say, it's a good reminder to remember that happiness is, you know, happiness is something to strive for, but also as emotions happen, you can still be happy. And one of the things that I was going to say is I spent a lot of time worrying about my body type and bulking up, and the reality of the situation is I'm a slim guy. I'm never going to be super muscular. You know, I could waste a lot of time worrying about that, or I can just work on being healthy and being happy that I'm healthy, I'm in shape, my heart's in good condition, I eat right, I have a good diet, and my body is a healthy body. It's kind of the same way with happiness, as you could say, well, I want to be this sort of happy, or I want to be this, and it's like, you know, you can just be healthy. You know, sad things happen, angry things happen, you know, stressful things happen, and you can deal with them in a healthy way while experiencing emotions, and it doesn't affect your life in a negative manner as far as whether you would say that you're happy with your life.
Well, it's important as a soul going through a human experience to experience the emotions as they come up. As you're going through the frickin' roller coaster of life, you know, when you're happy, feel happy. When you're sad, you know, embrace the sadness. Don't hold it, but embrace it at that time and realize it's okay to be sad. I know that there's this stigma on being sad and being depressed and being angry and how we shouldn't be, and it's like, no, it is okay to feel emotions. It is important to feel emotion. It is extremely important for your body's health to know what it feels like to be a normal, as you guys were saying, neutral human being, so that you know what it's like when something exciting happens, and you know what your body goes through when you have excitement, and you also know what your body goes through when something's wrong, when you're experiencing a stress response. You need to be able to know what your body does during a stress response, whether that's anger, fear, sadness, whatever, anxiety. If we're telling ourselves, no, anxiety is bad, stress is bad, everything is bad in large doses. Like, stress can be extremely harmful on the body in large doses, but it's also important for our stress responses in our body to know what that kind of things feels like, and to just embrace the emotions as they come. Embrace them, love them, let them go, let them ride out their course, and call it good. Like, happiness is a relative term. You are never going to be completely happy, because it's not a state of, happiness is not a state of being, it's an emotion. That's what I think.
And I think they're kind of one of the same. Emotions can be a state of being in that moment.
No, but I mean, it's not a constant state of being.
Right. It's kind of, there's this idea that we should be happy all the time, and that, if we're not, I don't know if anyone's ever felt, everyone's probably already taking chemistry. You ever been in a chemistry class where you have a lab and everybody's chemistry experiment is going right except for yours? And you're like, well, what the hell did I do wrong? Why is everybody else's going right and mine's going wrong? And we feel like in life, when things go wrong in our life, you're asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Where did I take a wrong turn? And it's not necessarily that you did anything wrong. Life just happened. And even if you did take a wrong turn, that's just part of you being you. That's part of you being human. And like Krista said, you live the emotion. You let the emotion happen. You let it happen. You deal with the problem, and you deal with it as it happens, not necessarily thinking like, oh, well, I might as well just throw this whole thing out the window because I screwed up and now it's all over.
You do that a lot, and I do that a lot. Like, that is a form of thinking that was, like, basically bred into us as kids, that if you fuck something up, it's fucked up. You need to get rid of it and start over. Because growing up, like, I was a straight A student. I was valedictorian. I got a full ride to college. Everything I did had to be perfect. I had to be the model child, and that continued with me back here. At my job, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a surgical technologist. I work in surgery. Everything has its place. Every instrument has its place. When people touch my stuff and something's slightly askew, it freaks me out. Like, it follows me everywhere. And it's not a way to be.
We are so afraid of making a mistake because we feel like it makes us a lesser person. If you make a mistake, it means you failed.
Exactly.
Whereas instead of taking it as a learning experience.
And Anthony said, it's not about the destination, it's the journey. And that's the gist of it in a cute little wrapped up sentence.
It's not a destination, it's a mode of travel.
Yeah. I'm spewing this to you guys because, you can hear this shit day in and day out. Like you said, dance like nobody is watching, sing like nobody is listening, love like nobody's fucking with you, fucking, all this bullshit that were fed to us all the time, you know, that you hear, and they're all over the walls, and they're all over books, and they're on journal covers, and they're sayings, and it's like, but until you hear it come out of someone's mouth that is living it and struggling with it, like, they turned it into a joke, but you can feel the pain that they're going through trying to understand it themselves. And you're just like, holy shit. Like, how much life have I wasted searching for something that potentially doesn't exist? Searching for that next big high instead of enjoying the experiences. You know, wishing that my daughter was a little bit older so she could do this. You know, I wish that my baby could sit up so that we could do this. Now that she's sitting, I wish that she could crawl so she could do this. Now that she's crawling, I wish that she could walk. Now she's 1.5, and I would give anything for her to be this big again. Like, that's all that we do as parents, as friends, as children, as human beings, is just wish that we had every fucking thing that we don't have, and then we get it, and we want more. We always want more. And you know what? There might be some of you that don't feel that way, and if you are one of those people, then I am so happy for you, and I completely fucking envy you, because I am not one of those people. I am a very I want type person, and it's because, like I said, and like I have explained to you, I am extremely terrified of myself as a person, because I don't know myself as a person. I'm not comfortable. That's how I want to word it. I am very uncomfortable with being with myself.
Well, and I think it's one of the scariest things to face is ourselves. And
yeah.
I think that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's a big part of shadow work, is actually looking at yourself and the darker sides and knowing that that's a part of you, and that it's okay that it's a part of you. You need to acknowledge it. I think that this is a good time to go into the last part of what he talked about, which came across as a joke, came across as just a silly song, but really has a much deeper meaning, I feel. Is he talked about how he went to a Kanye West concert, and how the last 20 minutes of the concert was Kanye venting his problems, which we can all imagine what Kanye's problems
My $90 shirts aren't selling.
So, but he said, you know, I felt like this is a good time for him to share some of his problems, and he proceeded to sing about how his hand doesn't fit into a Pringles can. And I can relate to that. And I can also relate to what he went into when he went to Chipotle, Chipotle. And when he got to the end of the line, he had ordered so much stuff that when they tried to wrap the burrito, it was falling out. But they still wrapped it anyway, and he was like, why didn't someone tell me that I ordered too much stuff? Like
halfway
you guys,
through.
Yeah. I wouldn't have ordered that. And he goes on to sing an auto-tune about how he wouldn't have ordered the lettuce if he knew
it wouldn't fit.
If he knew it wouldn't fit. I wouldn't have ordered cheese if I knew it wouldn't fit. I wouldn't have ordered peppers if I knew it wouldn't fit. And it was just kind of a funny song, but when you really think about it, it's a metaphor for life. I mean, how often is our life as a burrito, do we fill it full of things that don't necessarily
fulfill us,
that we
They're
really
just
need?
Filler.
When really the burrito is good in itself, but we feel like we need to stuff it full of all this excess. And by the time you get to the end, there's not enough room, and you're sit there staring at this mess of a burrito.
And what did he say? He's like, I'd rather suck a man's dick,
my dad's dick, than eat a burrito
with a fork. And it's true. It's like you literally have, you know, it's like, oh, I wish, you know, why didn't you guys tell me halfway halfway when I was putting too much shit in that it wasn't going to fit by the time the end comes. We don't have someone telling us
and that's
going through life right now.
And that's the tragedy, is you don't know until you get to the end that you had too many fillings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a reminder to be mindful of the things you're filling your life with, and if they are really a meaningful thing, or if there are more meaningful things to be spending your time with, because you won't know until you get there.
I do have to say I've never been to Chipotle.
And the same thing with the Pringles can. He was saying, why don't they just make the can wider? And it's the truth of life is
Same here, Brittany. You
can see what you want, and you can see the chips are right there, but you can't quite fit your hand in. Like, you can't quite get to it. You're like, why don't they just make it wider? Well, if they made the can wider, then in the metaphor of life, if you were able to just achieve your happiness by reaching out and grabbing it, then you wouldn't appreciate it. Then there would be a new happiness. There would be a new level. There would be something else that.
Well, and
that's the thing, is it's like, it's not the fact that you can't just reach in and grab the Pringle. It's that happiness is always there. The Pringle chips are always there. You just have to know how to access the Pringles.
Well, it's kind of like my, what I've got going on right now. Like, I got a Nintendo Switch because I'm constantly seeking the newer, better, greater video game systems that I don't play. Like, I have all the next-gen systems because I used to be a manager at GameStop. And so I got the Switch. I actually love it, and I have been playing it a ton. Really, really like it. But I have not beaten a game, and I couldn't tell you how long. I have currently finished 3 games in, like, the last month on my Switch. So I bought Golf Story, beat it, went into, like, this state of, like, video game depression, kind of like when you finish a book and you don't want it to be over because you want that feeling that that game brings you and that enjoyment that it brings your life, and that's gone. So then you go search for the next thing. You're like, no, I want another thing. So then you go and you find another game and it brings you happiness for a little while, and then you beat it and it's gone. So you have to go find the next thing, and that's exactly what people do with life instead of, enjoying what they have and making the best out of what they have, and having experiences and going out with their kids and enjoying what the fuck ever. And it's the constant I need. Like, I need that next high.
And we're lucky, us here, to live in a country where we have so much to be thankful for. And it's kind of what Krista's talking about. And, when she was talking about me earlier, where I can just sit and be with myself, part of that is because I also know within myself that I understand that the desires, the wants that I want to do are just filler for something to take my mind off of what's in my mind. And how often, we're always, and like Krista said, I beat the game, I want to play the next game. I beat this game, I want to play the next game. And we've been in times in our life where we've had to take a step back and realize, we're stressed because money's tight. We're like, man, money's tight. We barely have enough to pay our bills. It's hard to keep a whole lot of food in the house. We're not able to go out with friends. And you take a step back and you look at your life and you're like, so instead of going out with our friends and hitting the bars, going out to Applebee's, doing whatever we want to do, tonight we're going to stay in and watch Netflix on our big screen TV with a house that has food in it, although it might not be the food we want. It does have food. And we're just going to have to sit and entertain ourselves. It's like,
damn, that's horrible.
You know how many people in the world would kill for that. Our idea of what fulfillment is so skewed because we have so much.
Mm-hmm. And like Julie said, she's like, it isn't a need, it's a want. And what's horrible with the way that society is heading is that people don't understand the difference between needs and wants anymore. Everything is becoming a need because of that almost addictive need to that gratification. They need that next high. They need likes on their Facebook posts, or they need shares on their Instagram. That's not how that works, but you know what I'm talking about.
We feel we're deserving of our wants. Like, a want is something that we should not be denied.
Yeah. And so instead of saying, well, I need, as a human being, I need sleep, I need water, I need food to keep myself alive, and I need shelter. Like, those are the basic human needs.
I mean, I think a majority of people would say, man, what would I do without internet?
They would. I can tell you right now that probably over half of Americans would tell you that internet is a need. I'm going to tell you guys right now, Kevin and I were house hunting, and other than the fact that I said I needed to be within call range of the hospital because I didn't want to sleep at the hospital, I said that internet was a requirement. Like, we had to have high-speed charter internet in order to purchase a house. We bought a house. I love our house. Like, we found the perfect house. But we weren't even looking places that didn't have internet.
And
because it becomes a need. It's getting wishy-washed in with basic needs. People's wants are becoming...
And again, in all these examples, you know, it's not saying that you shouldn't spend your hard-earned money on something that you want. You know, that's your decision. You know, that's part of why you spend hours at work. That's part of why you earn a living. It's the fact, it's the spirit it's done in. It's the taking for granted side of it. It's the, you know, the not really necessarily understanding that what you're doing is privilege. It's not guaranteed, it's not right.
Somebody just said, families don't play board games anymore.
No.
You know what families do? Families, and I'm probably going to offend some people because there's probably parents that have done it, and don't get offended because it's the way society's going. But families buy their children iPads and leapfrog pads and all this stuff and all this technology to keep their kids entertained.
Well, and
because that's the way society is heading, is all technological. They're like, oh, instead of getting board games for my kids, I'm fucking busy, my husband's fucking busy, because it's harder than ever now to make ends meet and to raise a family. So you work your ass off and you buy these technologically savvy things that teach your kids for you.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
And we bring up the old days a lot. I don't know what it's like to live in the old days. I only know what it's like to live in my time and what we have. One thing I will say about that side of things, as far as the parenting, and like Chris has said, don't want to offend people, but I feel like there's a little bit of liberty in what we have to say with this, because this is the way we feel we want to parent our daughter, and it's something that we've seen working at GameStop together, is how many people that would come in and purchase a game system, a game, just whatever, for their kid because they asked for it and they wanted to make them happy, without any research, without any knowledge. Take interest in what your kids are interested in. Take the time to, if that's what their love is, take the time to take that journey with them to understand what it is.
Absolutely.
Because, so many parents would come in, have no idea. They're just like, I just need one of these computer systems. And they're putting kids into situations that the kids aren't able to understand, because the online gaming, the whole gaming community is kind of a whole another mess. But, you know, it's taking the time, and that's part of the issue, is we all feel that we're number one, that we're the people that are supposed to be experiencing all these things. I mean, you can have a great experience no matter where you live. To take a moment to look out your window and just notice something, because there is beauty everywhere. Just take a moment and just notice something beautiful.
We live in a very, very beautiful piece of Michigan. We are surrounded by water. We have gorgeous landscapes. We have hills. We have beautiful trees. We experience all 4 seasons, some a little more so than others. Winter. But we are very, very blessed where we live. And how many people stop to pay attention to it? I remember when I first moved up here, I said I could not get over driving up that hill every morning and driving towards the lake and seeing it, one of the Great Lakes, and going, I'll never get used to this. This is the most beautiful thing in the world. Do I even notice it anymore? Nope. You don't. Because you get used to that natural beauty, and it's really sad. It was really sad. And
well, and I guess what this all kind of comes back to is kind of what Krista joked in the beginning, but saying, you know, it all kind of gets summed up in, you know, would you have bought the lettuce if you knew it wouldn't fit? Would you have bought the cheddar if you knew it wouldn't fit? Would you have bought the peppers if you knew that it wouldn't fit? You know, just being mindful, you know, on a regular basis of what you're filling your life with. Because right now, in your current life, you know, there are people that are in multiple states of either stress, pain, happiness. You know, some people are in a place they feel healthy, some people aren't. But you are in a place in a unique place that you will not be again.
Every moment.
And, you know, right now I am with, you know, at least 3 souls, maybe 5, 6 souls if you count Armor, in which I might not experience in this way ever again.
Of course you gotta count Norby.
Yeah. And so, you know, the fact that when you go to bed at night, if you have someone that you love that's snuggled up next to you, you only have a limited number of times that soul is snuggled up next to you like they are. You only have a limited number of times that you get to watch your child learn how to speak or learn how to walk or eat something for the first time. You know, and there's so much outside validation, like Krista said, that you get distracted. And so is watching, you know, is watching your TV show that you're watching really worth what you could be missing out on? Is taking the time to listen to your wife, your husband's day, you know, to get a piece of them, to get a piece of their feelings, a piece of their soul, is it really worth missing out on for what you're filling your head with? And, you know, there are very valuable things to learn from a lot of sources of media, books, TV shows, that sort of thing. And, you know, we watch Game of Thrones, you know, the story is good. There's a lot of sex, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of garbage in that. But
there's fucking dragons, bitch.
But there's dragons and there's really cool shit.
And there's Jon Snow. And Jon Snow's butt. That's all you need in Game of Thrones.
I even like Jon Snow's butt.
Everybody likes Jon Snow's butt, and if you say you don't, you're a liar.
When we snuggle up on the couch, we're experiencing something together in a way that is new for us. So, as far as this whole thing, it was never meant to be a condemning thing, never meant to be social media is the devil, you know,
social media is the devil.
TV is the devil, everything's the devil, listen to your family. It's saying, take a moment, think of what you're packing in your burrito, and start to prioritize. Because
how about you have a normal serving of a burrito instead of an overstuffed, nasty ass burrito. And I'm gonna tell you what, upstairs today they had burritos, and one of my friends is preggers, and she had 2 baby size burritos, and then her dad got a big burrito, and he was very unhappy with his large burrito because it was nasty and greasy and disgusting, and she was very happy with her 2 little baby size burritos because everything was in it with just the right amount, because they didn't try to overstuff fucking everything. And that's a real story.
And the other thing is to take a step back, and instead of thinking of your life as missing something, is to see what it is filled with. Because I think if you take a moment and you take inventory of what your life is filled with, you'd be surprised at how much you have. And you know, the fact that me and Krista can, you know, take a night, snuggle in bed, wake up with each other in the morning, go get our daughter, and all be a family every single day is a blessing. It's not a right.
Yeah.
And that's no small thing. And
no, because if I've seen my kid, she's fucking adorable.
Mm-hmm. And when you start to fill your life with other things trying to enhance your experience in this lifetime, you get distracted and you miss out on experiences that are beautiful and way more fulfilling. Would you rather eat a Dorito which has the calories that fill you but have no value, or eat a healthy salad that has the same amount of calories but will also give you everything you need?
Well, that's a trick question, because obviously
Doritos are really fucking tasty.
Doritos taste really fucking good,
but they also wake you up at 1 in the morning
feel
with
like
indigestion.
Shit. So you're really happy for a moment, haha, instant gratification, but then they leave you sad and wanting more at fucking what I am. Whereas your salad leaves you on that nice neutral plane. It makes you feeling fresh. It makes you feel, it's not necessarily like you're gonna eat that salad and be like, this is the best fucking thing I've ever put in my mouth, and you might. But it's going to keep your body happy, it's going to keep you happy, and it's going to keep you on that neutral playing field, so that when something does come along that's that holy shit moment, you can be excited about that and not about the fact that you ate a Dorito and regretted it 2 hours later.
Right. See, it's a perfect metaphor.
So fucking eat your goddamn salad.
So
could you just eat a taco? I had tacos for dinner, and I am not regretting that yet.
So the other thing that I would say over the course of this video, because we've gone so long and touched on so many things, I don't even know what all we've said. But with all things, it kind of comes back into this experience is valuable. You know, we don't have everything figured out. We're not the smartest people in the world, and we really don't know what's everything that's going on. But we brought up some really, really interesting points, and it's going to create conversation in your life, because what we say may not work for you. What, you know, we think is going on, we don't have your experiences, but you, your significant other, family members, friends hear it and say, that's a real interesting thing. I don't agree with them, or, you know, that's real fucked up. You know, we're not going to listen to them.
Good.
You know, at least it makes you think. It makes you question. It makes you talk about it because
they're big topics.
Because we don't know. We don't know what's going on in anybody's life. You know.
Go watch Bo Burnham.
But you bring up these things and it makes people think, it makes people talk, and that's what it's all about, is figuring out how you and your circle of souls is going to progress through this life, because that's what we're working on, is how us and our circle is going to progress through this life and how we're going to enjoy it. You know, one thing I used to say all the time when I used to be romantic and like Prince Charming, is I used to tell Krista, you know, when we would watch the sunset, you know, we'd probably only have about 65,000 of these left before we die. And 65,000 seems like a lot, but every day that's one less. And that's not even a guarantee that 65,000 is what's going to happen. So take the time to enjoy, because nothing is guaranteed. The happiness, the things that make you happy, the things that you feel you deserve can be taken away just as fast as they were given.
Yep.
So,
now that's not saying, like, play that fucking video game.
Right.
Read that book. Go on that trip to Disney. Don't go on that trip to Disney because it's like $5,000 at the least to go for like a week. So go to that trip to your fucking park down the road because that's what you can afford. You know, go just fucking eat them damn Doritos if that's what you're excited about. But all we're saying, and all we got from Bo Burnham, by the way, if you do watch Bo Burnham, don't watch it with your kids. There really are songs on there that are called Eat a Dick.
Dirty words.
Kevin says there's dirty words. I'm like, yeah, they talk about eating dick. He's very good, but you have to really search for the meaning in a lot of what he says, because it's there, and sometimes it's very obvious that it's there, and sometimes you're like, he just sang a song about masturbating. It's like, no, that's not really what he was talking about. But let's go on a really good tangent wherever I was going with it.
But regardless of what he was saying, even if we got the meanings wrong, even if that wasn't his original intent,
yes, it was.
It resonated, and I feel like it's a big revelation. And I think sometimes revelations come not necessarily in things that you're like, oh, I never knew that. I wish someone had told me that. I think sometimes it's something you've known, and it's something you've heard in many, many ways, but in this way, it makes more sense. And tonight, watching stand-up, we heard some things that made more sense in the way that he said them.
Yeah.
And in part, hopefully, in some of the things that we've said, maybe a phrase, something resonates where you say, oh, yeah, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
That is because everything we're talking about is really hard to grasp. Like, happiness on a day-to-day basis is a hard thing to grasp.
All of this stuff is not, somebody had said earlier, like, you really have to practice all of this. Like, it's not something that's going to come naturally. Social media is an addiction. 100%, they have said that social media is as addictive as crack. So, you know, limiting social media is hard. I've tried. That in itself is difficult. And changing your mindset is a really, really hard thing to do. I believe they said that it takes 21 days to form a habit. And that's just forming a habit. That's not even like making a complete switch. So instead of focusing on, okay, what can I do to completely give my life a complete 180, instead focus on little things and go, okay, you know, instead of, honestly, it's like the Reiki ideals is what you're doing, like, just for today, I will.
And it doesn't have to be a struggle.
That's the whole point, because if you're struggling, you ain't doing it right.
It's supposed to be enjoyed, you know, and I think, you know, and that's the idea behind mantras, is just a simple phrase that carries a lot of meaning. You know, whether your phrase is live your life without an audience, whether it's I wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit, you know, whatever it is.
I'm going to start using that when I go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm somebody that buys. I don't have a spending problem, but I can come out and admit, and Kevin knows, that I am a want person. So I will go and I will buy something after talking it over with my husband, get super excited about this thing, and then it will sit on my shelf for the rest of its days because I was excited to buy it because I wanted to have it, and then now that I have it, I'm on to the next thing.
Well,
so I'm going to start thinking about that. I'm going to be like, I wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit.
Right.
As I'm going to say, I wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit. I wouldn't have got the cheese if I knew it wouldn't fit. I wouldn't have got the olives because them bitches is nasty.
No, olives are good.
No, olives are fucking nasty. No, olives are gross.
So
that's a real thing.
But if we all take the time, because we all feel victimized in some way. When we're honest, we all think about it, and we all feel victimized in some way, whether it's by our spouses, whether it's by our employers, whether it's by the government, just the world in general, the universe even. We all feel victimized.
Yes, olives are fucking gross.
If you take the time to take a step back and go, you know what? Life is good. Life is to be enjoyed. I think a lot of times, you know, if you're having troubles in your relationship, you walk up to your spouse, you put your hand on their shoulder, and you project love because you know you love them.
Bitch, I don't love you when I'm mad at you.
You would be surprised at the response you get. How all of a sudden the walls fall down.
You come up and touch me when I'm mad at you and you see what happens. You come up and you put your hand on my shoulder when I'm real mad at you and you see if I don't get that bitch bitten off.
I'm not talking about like poking a tiger or something like that. I'm like talking about not like conflict moments, you know, when you're in ruts, when you're in like issues, like when you have fights with your siblings and you don't talk, when you have fights with your parents and you don't talk, when you're actually genuine and you come up and you say, you know what, it's not worth it, I don't want to alienate anybody, and you project love, you would be surprised how quickly the walls fall down. Yeah. And you enter and you have a much happier experience. I think we're kind of rambling at this point.
Bitch, they know my rambling. I'm a rambling fool. But, anyways, yeah, that's my rant-ish. Because it wasn't really a rant, but it kind of turned into a ramble rant. A rantle.
A rantle.
A ramble rant. Rant.
Ramble.
No, I said a ramble rant. You combine them, it's a rantle.
Kind of like a mantle.
I hate you. But
and I know
I didn't come on here for validation because I actually didn't even want to have comments available because I didn't want to. I mean, you kind of do come on for validation because you do see how many views you get. So I guess it is.
And that's the thing is, there's going to be criticism in everything. It's just taking a step back and, you know, if you want to spend your energy criticizing, that's fine.
Bring it.
You know, I mean, we didn't come on here for people to say, wow, you guys are smart. Wow, you guys are, we just had a profound experience and we wanted to share it. If you want to spend your energy criticizing, that's your choice. I don't have a problem with that.
Nope.
You know, because once again, it just brings up other things for us to think about and say, I wonder if we were a little presumptuous, or I wonder if this, or I wonder if that. You know, it's not going to knock our self-confidence.
The issue that I have with people that, what did you just say?
Criticize?
There you go. I'm getting tired, so my words are gone. With people that criticize, is there's constructive criticism, and that's where really good conversations come from. There's like respectful, constructive criticism. But then there's people that are just straight up dicks, and those are the people that you know that you struck a nerve, and that's the people that get offended by everything, and those people can just fall off the earth for all I care. Like, they're just the scum of the universe.
Well,
no.
Everyone's in a different state
no.
of being.
No. There is a state of being to where you are having shit go on in your life, and there's a state of being called I'm a fucking asshole, when you have to go online and take somebody's accomplishment when they're seeking validation and tear them down because it makes you feel better. If tearing somebody else down makes you feel better, you are an asshole.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you are a straight up asshole. And I'm sorry if shit's going wrong in your life, but there's totally other ways to handle it than tearing other people down. And that's what I have to say about that. I can't.
But either way, we had a pretty awesome night.
We did.
And we had a lot of great conversation with ourselves.
Yeah, before this. We did talk about all of this like an hour before we even came on here. I was like, bitch, I gotta go live.
And Krista has the unique ability to have conversation with multiple people at one time, so we decided to share.
We shared.
Because as presumptuous as we are, we like to feel like
validated.
Might want to hear what we have to say. And if you don't want to hear, it's fine. Or if we said something that
offended you, then go away.
Hey, well,
I'm kidding. I am kidding.
If something we said strikes a nerve, or if you're pissed, or if something's not right,
they know
it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. That makes you think about your station in life and kind of figure it out. Figure it out in your own head.
What? Needing to listen to your own voice, listening to others, the kind of truth. It may only just confuse you. Be careful of who you let into your head. Are you saying that I'm confusing other people? I don't understand. But no, a lot of times talking out loud, just like journaling, helps to solidify what it is that you were trying to get out, which is totally...
And there's a teaching philosophy with learning, which is, learn study something, learn, do something, teach something. So
teach one, see one,
see one,
see one, do one, teach one.
That's how it is.
See one, do one.
Because when you have to teach it, then you have to figure it out in your own head for yourself.
I learned a ton after having to do my Reiki class.
Oh,
because
for sure.
I had to teach it. I was like, I know the principles. I have everything in my own head because I've learned it for 5 years. But having to talk to people, and I'm all done. Anyway, now it's just turning into a ramble. I hope that you guys have a fantastic night. I don't know if I'm going to leave comments on. I'll probably disable them because this isn't really something that I want to have much of a conversation about. I just wanted to put the info out there, give you guys something to think about, tell you to go watch Bo Burnham, not with your children, and to have a wonderful evening. I think I'm wide awake now, so I don't really know. Kevin and I probably have a lot to talk about, a lot to think about. There's changes, I think, that are coming on the horizon. There have been changes, and there's going to be more changes because these are really, really big, eye-opening, holy shit moments, and they may have been something that hit us a little late. Maybe they hit us a little early. Maybe it's magical that they hit us at all. There's a lot of people that go through life that hate themselves the entire way, and then they get to the end, and what was it for? It was for them to learn to not hate themselves in their next life, I guess. I don't know, but
we're all in different stages. We're all in different learning points.
Yeah.
You just just roll with the information and the experiences that are given to you at the time they are, and it's all good.
Yeah, so, don't worry, I will be back to chit-chat.
Won't be.
Fuck off. Yes, you will. Someday. I only got him on here because he was drinking. Not that he's...
Well, because I was sitting in the seat and you put the camera right there.
That too. Comfy seat. Okay, so we're gonna go. I hope that all of you Americans have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. Enjoy time with your families. Enjoy times with yourself. Do some soul searching. What is that called? I think shadow work. It's shadow work.
Girl, I brought that up earlier and you didn't even listen to me.
I didn't hear you say shadow work.
I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's shadow work.
Well, then yeah, you were correct.
I'm difficult to go into, but it teaches you about your darker side.
You're so smart.
Oh, I actually listen to you when you tell me things. That's
He's
crazy.
So cute. Oh my God. All right. More streams like this. Hope you post this video so I can watch the whole thing. Oh, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it for real because I need all y'all to hear what I'm saying to you about Bo Burnham.
Make
Go
sure
watch
you
motherfucker.
Message us and tell us how awesome we are.
Because I need the validation.
That's why we
So
did
go onto
this.
my Pyperh page, facebook.com/PyperPagan. It might just be Pyperh. I don't remember. I don't know what it is. Go on there. Leave me all kinds of comments that tell me how wonderful and amazing I am.
And we're sponsored by Founders.
All Day IPA. Because one of my videos, apparently I was sponsored by Dr. Pepper because everybody got pissed at me.
So go like them too.
Go like Dr. Pepper for validation. I'm just kidding. Okay. Now I'm like legit overtired now. So I'm all done. You guys have a wonderful night. I love you all. Thank you for all of you that tuned in. It was fantastic. I will see you lover muffins on the other side of whatever that means.
Wow.
What? I'm not saying I'm gonna die. I'm saying the other side of the internet.
I didn't know the internet had two sides.
Yeah, this side and their side. That's two sides.
There's way more than two sides.
My side and their side.
Okay.
That's all I want to get into.
Okay.
Fuck.